Before I say anything else, I want you to pause for a moment and think, who's running your life right now? Is it you, or is it the endless chatter in your own mind? The thoughts that tell you I can't, the fears that whisper not enough, the doubts that freeze you from taking action. Those voices, they're not just thoughts. They're tiny dictators controlling your choices, your energy, and your results. Here's the truth of your mind is not your master. It's your most powerful tool. And like any tool, if you don't learn to wield it, it will work against you. If you learn to train it, if you learn to command it, if you learn to align it with your dreams, instead of your fears, suddenly life stops being something that happens to you and starts being something you create. Today, I'm going to show you how to take back control, how to train your mind so it stops sabotaging you and starts serving you, how to transform fear into courage, doubt into clarity, and procrastination into unstoppable action. Because once your mind works for you, nothing, absolutely nothing can hold you back. You ever notice how most people spend their entire lives listening to that inner voice without even questioning it? That constant chatter in your head that tells you what you can't do, what you're not capable of, what's going to go wrong before it even happens. Most people think that's reality, but it's not. That voice is just a collection of habits, fears, programming. And the scary part is most people believe it's the absolute truth. They wake up and before they even open their eyes fully, their mind is running a movie of limitation. I can't, it says. I'm not ready. Never be enough. And because they believe it, their entire day, their entire life gets dictated by thoughts that are not even real. But here's the power you need to realize: your mind is not your master. It's a tool. Tool so powerful that it can either destroy you from the inside out or lift you higher than you ever imagined. The choice isn't made by your circumstances, it's made by the conversation you have with yourself. Right now in this room, some of you are holding yourself back because your inner dialogue has been running on autopilot for years. And you don't even know it, you even notice it. You think that the doubt, the fear, the self-criticism is who you are. But it's not. It's just a habit, and habits can be changed. The first step in training your mind is awareness. You have to listen to the words you're telling yourself. What story are you replaying every single day? Is it the story of limitation, fear, and failure? Is it the story of power, possibility, and growth? Most people don't even realize that they can choose the story. But you can take that inner dialogue, that ceaseless, relentless commentary that runs through your head, and flip it. You can decide that from this moment forward, the voice in your mind is going to serve you instead of sabotage you. You can turn it from a critic into a coach, from a saboteur into a strategist. And let me tell you something, this isn't some fluffy idea. Thoughts literally shape your reality. They shape your emotions. They shape your decisions. Every single choice you make, every action you take is influenced by the conversation happening inside your own head. If your thoughts are negative, fearful, limiting, you'll act small, you'll play it safe, and you'll stay trapped in the same patterns. But if you train your mind to focus on possibilities, to speak words of courage, to imagine solutions instead of problems, your actions will follow, your life will follow. It's that simple, and it's that powerful. Now, this doesn't mean you ignore challenges or pretend life is perfect. Far from it. It means you choose what your mind focuses on. It means you notice the doubts and the fears and the old programming, and you consciously redirect it. It means when that voice whispers, you can't, you respond, I will find a way. It means you stop allowing a random collection of thoughts, some learned decades ago, to control your destiny. Because here's the truth: the mind will believe whatever you tell it consistently and persistently. It doesn't question it, it just acts on it. So what you feed it matters. What you allow it to focus on matters. And the moment you take responsibility for your inner dialogue, you take responsibility for your life. You have to practice it. It's not enough to hear this once and think, I'll try. You have to catch yourself every time the old voice shows up. You have to stop it, question it, and replace it with a voice that serves you. You have to make it a habit to consciously choose empowering thoughts, even when the easier, familiar route is fear and limitation. And every time you do, your mind starts to rewire itself. Every time you do, the patterns of doubt and fear lose their grip. Every time you do, you're proving to yourself that you are bigger than your thoughts, stronger than your doubts, and capable of more than you ever imagined. And when this becomes second nature, your inner dialogue consistently works for you instead of against you, life begins to change in ways that feel effortless. Doors open, opportunities show up, and your actions become aligned with your true potential. You stop struggling against yourself. You start moving with the power that has been inside you all along. This is the foundation, the bedrock of everything else. We're going to talk about focus, emotional control, massive action, and building a life you actually want. All starts with the conversation in your head. Master that and the rest follows naturally. Your mind is either your best friend or your worst enemy. The question is, who's running the show? We all have habits. Some are helpful, some are harmful. The truth is, the most destructive habits are often the ones we don't even notice the way we think, the way we automatically fall into patterns of negativity without even realizing it. It's easy to believe that your mind just thinks what it wants. That's not entirely true. Your mind is a machine, and like any machine, it runs on the programs you feed it. If you keep feeding it fear, worry, and doubt, it will keep producing the same results over and over. And the problem is, Most people don't even see it happening. They wake up every morning, and before they've even taken a breath, they're replaying the same old stories. Oh, I'm not ready. I can't do this. It's too hard. If I fail, and those stories keep them small, they keep them stuck. They keep them living far below their true potential. But here's the reality. Negative thinking is a habit, and habits can be broken. It's not magic. It's not luck. Simple, brutal, and entirely under your control. Every time a thought of fear, doubt, or self-criticism pops into your mind, you have a choice. You can let it run unchecked like most people do. Or you can stop it, question it, replace it with a thought that empowers you. It's that simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. This is where most people fail. They expect their minds to change without effort. They hope their thoughts will magically align with their goals. Your mind doesn't care about hope. It cares about repetition. It cares about consistency. It cares about practice. So how do you break the habit of negative thinking? You interrupt the pattern. The moment you catch yourself spiraling into fear or worry, you stop. You literally say, wait, I'm not going to run this thought. I'm going to choose a different one. And then you replace it. Replace it with a question. Replace it with a possibility. Replace it with action. Instead of saying, I can't do this, ask yourself, how can I do this? What's the first step? Instead of focusing on failure, focus on what success would feel like. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, focus on what you can control right now. Every time you do this, your mind begins to rewire. Every time you do this, you take one more step toward freedom, one more step toward control, one more step toward living the life you're capable of living. Here's the part most people don't realize. Your mind will fight you at first. It will resist. Old patterns are comfortable, even if they're painful. The voice of fear is familiar. It's been running the show for years, maybe decades. Comfort is not the same as progress. You have to push past the resistance. You have to consistently choose thoughts that serve you, even when it feels unnatural, even when it feels hard. Because every time you do, you strengthen a new habit. You're building a mental muscle that becomes more powerful with every repetition. It's also about the stories you allow yourself to tell. Most people let their negative thoughts tell the story of their life. I'm unlucky. I always fail. Ever works out for me. And because they repeat that story over and over, their life reflects it. But you can choose a different story. A story of possibility, courage, and growth. A story where mistakes are lessons, challenges are opportunities. Fear is just a signal that you're about to grow. The mind doesn't know the difference between a story you believe and a reality you experience. So if you tell yourself a story of power and possibility, your actions will follow, your life will follow. And here's the beauty of it. Every negative thought you interrupt and replace is a victory. Every time you choose empowerment over fear, you're proving to yourself that you are not a victim of circumstance, that you are not a slave to your mind, that you have the power to shape your reality. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen magically, but it happens steadily, consistently, and intentionally. One thought at a time, one habit at a time. Your mind begins to work for you instead of against you. The moment you break the habit of negative thinking, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your focus sharpens. Your confidence grows. You start seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. You start taking actions that align with your goals instead of sabotaging yourself. And that is the power of conscious thought. That is the power of mastering the habit of thinking. It's not just a mental exercise. It's a life-changing discipline that separates those who live small from those who live fully, boldly, and with purpose. Your mind is listening. Your thoughts are creating. The question is, you're going to choose. Have you ever noticed how easily your mind drifts? One minute you're focused on a goal, a dream, a possibility, and the next you're distracted by worry, doubt, or someone else's opinion. The truth is, your focus is the single most powerful tool you have, and yet most people treat it like it doesn't matter. They scatter their attention across 100 things that don't matter and then wonder why their life feels chaotic, unfulfilled, or stuck. Your mind is like a spotlight. Wherever it shines, energy flows, and what you focus on grows. That's why focus isn't just important, it's everything. The problem is focus is a skill, and like any skill, it must be trained. Most people let their attention be hijacked by the noise of life, by social media, by other people's expectations, by fear and anxiety. And when you let that happen, your energy spreads thin. You try to pursue success. Your mind is pulling in 10 different directions at once. You try to build momentum, but it's lost in distraction. You try to create results, but your attention is fragmented. Your mind will produce results based on where your focus goes, where you wish it would go. So the first step is awareness. Start noticing where your mind goes. What thoughts occupy the first minutes of your day? Where do you spend your mental energy when no one is watching? If you catch yourself consumed by fear or judgment, that's exactly what is shaping your life. And if you catch yourself focusing on negative possibilities or other people's drama, that's exactly what is building your reality. Awareness is the key because you can't control what you don't notice. Once you become aware, you can begin to take deliberate control. And here's the key. You have to feed your mind deliberately. Your mind doesn't naturally gravitate toward empowerment. It naturally drifts toward ease and comfort, which often means old fears, habits, and patterns. That's why successful people guard their focus like a fortress. They choose carefully what they allow into their mental space. They read books that expand their vision. They listen to mentors who challenge them. They immerse themselves in environments that fuel their growth. They protect their mind from the clutter of negativity, gossip, and fear. Your attention is the currency of your life, and what you spend it on determines the return. It's also about clarity. Your mind needs direction. A mind without clear focus is like a ship without a rudder. It drifts, tossed by every wave of circumstance. But a mind with clarity knows exactly what it is moving toward. It has a target. It has a vision. It has a mission. When you combine clarity with focus, you create unstoppable momentum. Your energy concentrates on what matters, your decisions become aligned with your goals, and your results compound. And here's another layer that most people overlook. Your focus determines not only what you achieve, but also how you feel. When your attention is on fear, scarcity, or problems, your body tightens, your energy drains, and your mind convinces you that life is harder than it really is. Your focus is on solutions, gratitude, and possibility. Your energy surges, your creativity opens, and your capacity to act multiplies. Where focus goes, energy flows. And energy, my friends, is what drives results. Training your focus isn't a one-time effort. It's daily. It's relentless. It's a decision you make over and over. You have to choose what to pay attention to, because if you don't, your mind will choose for you. And left unchecked, almost always choose distraction, doubt, and fear. You have to practice repeatedly, intentionally, and with discipline. You have to set boundaries for your attention, create rituals for your mental energy, refuse to give it away to things that don't serve your vision. And the moment you start doing this, life begins to change. You notice opportunities that were invisible before. You see solutions instead of obstacles. You start taking actions that actually matter. Your productivity skyrockets, but more importantly, your sense of control skyrockets. You feel like you are steering your life instead of being pulled along by circumstances. That is the power of focused thought. That is the power of disciplined attention. That is how the mind begins to work for you instead of against you. Focus is not just a technique. It's the foundation of everything we've talked about so far. Mastering your thoughts, breaking the habit of negative thinking, and beginning to consciously shape your life. When you protect your mind, direct your attention, choose where your energy flows, you don't just get results, you gain freedom. Freedom from distraction, freedom from doubt, freedom from the chaos that keeps most people small. Where your mind goes, your life follows. We talk a lot about the mind, about thoughts, about focus, but there's another layer most people completely ignore: emotions. Your mind can be trained, your focus can be sharpened, your thoughts can be mastered, but if your emotions are running wild, it doesn't matter. You can have the clearest strategy, the strongest will, the most powerful plan. If you let fear, anger, or frustration dictate your behavior, you're going to sabotage yourself every single time. Emotional mastery isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending everything is fine. It's about control awareness and choosing what meaning you give to every situation. The truth is, life is never completely under control. Challenges will come. Setbacks will happen. Pain will arrive. And if you wait for perfect conditions or for emotions to magically align with your desires, you'll wait forever. The key is to realize that your emotions are signals, not enemies. Is a signal that you're about to grow. Frustration is a signal that you care about the outcome. Disappointment is a signal that you are conscious of what you want and it matters to you. When you interpret emotions this way, they stop being obstacles and start becoming tools. You can use them to guide you, to energize you, to push you forward. And the moment you begin to do that, your mind stops working against you and starts working for you. Most people react to their emotions unconsciously. They allow anger to control their words. They let sadness dictate their actions. They let fear decide what's possible. And then they wonder why their lives feel chaotic, why their results are inconsistent. They feel stuck. But here's the reality: emotional fitness is a skill just like mental fitness. You can train it, you can strengthen it, you can build it to the point where nothing, absolutely nothing, can shake your focus, your clarity, your drive. It starts with awareness. You have to notice your emotional state without judgment. When you feel tension, frustration, or doubt, pause and ask, what is this telling me? What is the signal here? How can I use this to my advantage? That pause, that awareness is the moment you take back control. That's the moment you stop being a victim of your emotions and start being the creator of your experience. It's not about eliminating emotions. It's about mastering the way you respond to them. And once you have awareness, you can practice choice. Every time a challenge arises, every time a setback threatens to knock you off course, you have the power to choose your response. You can choose fear, doubt, or anger, or you can choose courage, clarity, and calm. You can choose to see obstacles as opportunities, failures as lessons, and criticism as feedback. The choice is yours. And every time you choose wisely, you reinforce a new emotional pattern. You strengthen your resilience. You expand your capacity to handle whatever life throws at you. Another key part of emotional fitness is perspective. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Everything you experience has the potential to teach you, shape you, and elevate you. When you adopt this perspective, you stop resisting challenges and start leveraging them. Pain becomes a teacher, disappointment becomes a guide, uncertainty becomes a playground for growth. The mind follows meaning. If you give your experiences empowering meaning, your mind, your focus, and your actions will align naturally with your goals. And here's what most people miss. Mastering emotions isn't just about feeling better, it's about performing better. Your energy, your clarity, your creativity, your decision making, all of it is amplified when your emotional state is under your control. You'll notice that you take bolder actions, think sharper thoughts, and maintain focus longer. You'll see opportunities where others see obstacles. You'll act decisively when others hesitate. This is the difference between people who dream about their potential and people who actually achieve it. Emotional mastery is a continuous practice. Every day, every moment presents opportunities to train yourself. When irritation arises, choose patience. Fear appears, choose courage. When doubt knocks, choose belief. Every choice compounds. Every disciplined response rewires your nervous system. Every conscious decision strengthens the connection between your mind and your emotions so that they work in harmony, not in conflict. And the more you practice, the more automatic it becomes. Eventually, isn't even a conscious effort anymore. It becomes who you are. And once your emotions are trained to serve you, life feels different. Challenges feel like opportunities. Setbacks feel like feedback. Fear feels like fuel. Pain feels like progress. Your mind and your emotions work together, not against each other, and suddenly nothing outside of you has the power to derail your purpose, your vision, or your results. You stop being a passenger in your life. You become the driver, in control of the direction, fully empowered to navigate whatever comes your way. Emotions are not obstacles, they are signals. Your response to them determines whether they destroy you or elevate you. Thinking, focusing, mastering your emotions are all critical, but knowledge alone changes nothing. You can understand every principle of success. You can visualize the life you want. You can control your thoughts and emotions perfectly, and still nothing happens unless you act. Action is where transformation takes place. Action is the bridge between knowing and becoming. The mind can be trained, focus can be sharpened, emotions can be mastered, but if you don't act, that power remains dormant. The moment you take decisive, consistent action, your mind starts to work for you instead of against you. Most people overthink. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions. They convince themselves that preparation is progress. But the truth is, preparation without execution is nothing more than fantasy. Action is what turns possibility into reality. Every step you take, no matter how small, rewires your mind to believe that you are capable. Every deliberate action reinforces the mental patterns of success, courage, and growth. And every time you hesitate, every time you avoid action because of fear or doubt, you reinforce the opposite. Limitation, uncertainty, and stagnation. The key is to align your action with your mental state. You've trained your mind to focus, to think consciously, to respond emotionally with power. Now, your body and your behavior must reflect that. Action doesn't just support your mind, it confirms it. When you act, your mind receives feedback, it learns, adapts, and strengthens. Every step forward, every task completed, every risk taken is a signal to your brain, I am in control. I can handle this. I am capable. And over time, those signals accumulate, creating momentum, confidence, and unstoppable energy. But action isn't only about doing more, it's about doing what matters. You could be busy all day, moving from task to task, yet achieving nothing that actually advances your life. That's not what we're talking about. Focused, purposeful action is what transforms a dream into reality. It's the action that aligns with your vision, your goals, and your values. It's the action that challenges your limits and expands your capacity. And when you consistently take that kind of action, your mind and your life start to operate on a higher level. They stop resisting, they stop doubting, and they start creating. Here's the part that most people overlook: action feeds belief. Most people wait to believe before they act. They think, oh, I feel confident. Once I feel ready, then I'll do it. But the reality is belief comes through action. Confidence is built by showing up, by doing the work, by proving to yourself over and over that you can handle more than you thought possible. Every step you take toward your goal strengthens the neural pathways of possibility, courage, and determination. Your mind starts to believe in you because your actions are evidence that you are capable. Action also creates clarity. When you take steps toward your goal, you learn. You discover what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. Inaction leaves you in the dark, guessing, doubting, and stuck in your own imagination. Action shines a light on reality. It teaches lessons you cannot learn any other way. And every lesson learned is another opportunity to refine, improve, and grow. Here's the critical insight: consistency compounds. One heroic effort is impressive, but it doesn't create lasting change. What transforms your life is the repeated, relentless, daily choice to act. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work even when it's uncomfortable. It's taking responsibility for your progress instead of blaming circumstances or waiting for someone else to intervene. Every day that you choose to act in alignment with your goals, your mind strengthens its belief in your power. Momentum builds, fear diminishes. And soon, the life you imagined is no longer a distant dream. It's your reality. The most powerful minds in history, the people who changed their lives in the world, did not wait for perfect conditions. They didn't wait for motivation to strike. They acted. They acted imperfectly. They acted boldly. And they acted consistently. That's what separates those who talk about success from those who achieve it. Action creates identity. When you act consistently in alignment with your goals, your mind no longer sees you as someone who is uncertain or incapable. It sees you as a door, a creator, a person of power. And the world responds to that identity. So this is the moment to commit. No more waiting, no more hesitating, no more letting fear dictate your life. Take massive, deliberate action and let every step reinforce the mind you've trained, the focus you've sharpened, the emotional strength you've built. Action turns thought into reality, fear into courage, and dreams into results. Your mind works best when it is supported by action. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it is not a crystal ball. It doesn't predict the future, it shapes it. And too many people allow their past to dictate their present and their future. They carry every mistake, every disappointment, every setback like a weight on their shoulders. They replay the moments when they failed, when they were rejected, when they were told they weren't good enough, and they believe that is who they are. But here's the truth: your past doesn't define you, it prepares you. Every experience, every challenge, every hardship is a lesson, a building block, a stepping stone toward the person you are becoming. The mind has an incredible capacity to grow, but it only grows when you give it the right direction. The most powerful direction you can give it is a vision of the future that is bigger than your past. Too often people let their past experiences limit their possibilities. They think, I failed before, so I can't succeed now. I've been hurt before. I shouldn't trust. I wasn't good enough then, so I won't be good enough now. But that is a lie your mind is telling you. That is a story of limitation you are choosing to believe. And the moment you believe it, your mind begins to create evidence to support it. You start noticing every failure, every rejection, every limitation, and you ignore the opportunities, the possibilities, the successes that are right in front of you. The past only has the power you give it. You decide whether it is a cage or a foundation to train your mind to work for you. You have to consciously choose the meaning of your experiences. Every setback is feedback, not a sentence. Every failure is information, not identity. Every challenge is a teacher. When you adopt this perspective, you stop being trapped in regret or self-pity. You start looking forward to the possibilities, forward to the opportunities, forward to the person you are becoming. Your mind begins to align with your vision instead of your history. And when your mind aligns with your vision, your energy, your focus, and your actions all align naturally with your goals. It's also about vision. Your mind needs a destination, picture of what you are moving toward, not what you are moving away from. Most people live by reacting to the past, by avoiding pain or repeating old patterns. But a trained mind lives by vision. It lives by purpose. It lives by the clarity of what is possible. When you see yourself in the future, confident, capable, fulfilled, and unstoppable, your mind begins to work every day to close the gap between who you are now and who you want to become. That vision becomes the magnet for your thoughts, your focus, your emotions, and your actions. It becomes the driving force that turns potential into reality. Here's what separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who merely dream about them. They refuse to let the past limit them. They understand that mistakes are lessons, that failures are feedback, that criticism is information, that setbacks are temporary. They know that what matters is not where they've been, but where they're going and how relentlessly they pursue it. They use the past as a teacher, not a jailer. They leverage every experience to build mental strength, emotional resilience, and unwavering confidence. Your mind is like a garden. If you allow weeds of regret, fear, and self-doubt to take root, they will choke out your potential. But if you plant seeds of vision, purpose, and belief, nourish them with focus, action, and persistence, they will grow into a life far beyond what you ever imagined. You cannot change the past, but you can decide today how your mind will interpret it, what lessons it will extract, what possibilities it will create. That choice is yours, and it determines everything. The most powerful people in the world did not start with perfect histories. They did not start without mistakes or setbacks. They had was a mind that refused to be limited by what had already happened. They had a mind that focused on what could be, not what was. They had a mind that aligned every thought, every action, every choice with a vision so compelling that failure and doubt could not stop them. And the difference is available to you. Every single one of you in this room has the same capacity. Your mind can either be your greatest enemy, replaying every limitation from your past, or it can be your greatest ally, working tirelessly to create the future you choose. So this is the moment to commit. Decide today that your mind will no longer be held hostage by yesterday's mistakes, fears, or limitations. Decide that your thoughts will serve your vision, focus will drive your purpose, your emotions will fuel your action, and your actions will create the life you deserve. Stop living in the shadow of what was and start creating the reality of what can be. Stop allowing the past to dictate your potential. Start commanding your mind to work for you, not against you. Your past is a lesson. Your future is a choice. Your mind is your ally.